Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to my session. I'm Sandrine Han. I'm an education consultant and independent researcher. I was an associate professor at the University of British Columbia, the Department of Curriculum Pedagogy, specializing in art education when I conducted this research. Today, I'm talking to you from the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coquitlam First Nation people. And the title of my work is Implementing Gamified Pedagogy in Maya 3D Courses. In a student-centered educational environment, educators are responsible for understanding what motivates students and for enabling students to learn from their interests and experiences. Many students are interested in gaming. Therefore, educators must understand the way in which students are attracted to games and how to ideally implement gaming elements in the educational field. Research indicates that many students spend a significant amount of time playing games, and some research also suggests that students are passionate about online gaming. In response to these findings, I researched gamified pedagogy in 2011, considering the following questions. What are the gaming elements that cause students to be attracted to gaming and make them willing to spend considerable time on gaming? What is gamified pedagogy? Can gamified pedagogy be used to inspire student learning? Through this research, I developed a theory of gamified pedagogy, finding that using gamification as pedagogy requires a use of a spiral curriculum in which students learn advanced tasks by starting with the basic skills. The technique also involves establishing clear short-term and long-term goals, rewarding students when they achieve each level, forming a learning community with a showcase for student work, and providing a safety net for students to explore and practice. With a gamified pedagogy, students may become self-motivated learners who are interested in learning more from the course content and from each other. Gamified pedagogy also provides another approach for art education. In 2011, I had the opportunity to redesign the Introduction to 3D Modeling Maya curriculum for Shanghai Commercial School. I designed the course based on my previous findings regarding gamified pedagogy. In the curriculum, I specifically suspend the step-by-step instructional teaching methods and encourage instructors to teach students to find the ideal resources to solve the problems they encounter. At the beginning of the course, students quickly learn their short and long-term goals. They are then expected to start thinking and planning their learning accordingly. Well, the students are exploring software, they should consider what they want to make. The instructor should frequently employ images examples to inspire students as they work on projects. The course is not designed to ask students to perform the same action as the instructor demonstrates. Rather, students are encouraged to have their own ideas, building on their creative thoughts and learning problem-solving skills. Group work is also essential for this class because 3D designers are rarely work alone. Students should learn how to communicate their ideas with others so that they can create their dreams together and work together to achieve their goals. In this empirical case study research, I interviewed the course instructors and sent surveys to the students. The main research question is this: what are the positive and negative of using gamified pedagogy in the introduction to Maya curriculum design? The sub-questions are as follows. Compared with the previous course design, what are the positive and negative of using gamified pedagogy? And what are the students' view on this course design? About the literature review, I separate that into two parts, gamification and gamified pedagogy. I will start with the gamification. Gamification is an emerging concept that applies gaming elements to non-gaming environments. As Scholar states, gamification is a informal umbrella term for the use of video game elements in a non-gaming system to improve user experience and users' engagement. Currently, gamified fields including finance, health, news, and tutorials. Gaming elements are applied in these fields to engage users as well as to motivate and increase user performance. Csikszentmihalyi's flow theory has influenced scholars who write about gamification. Flow is a psychological state during which a person typically experiences deep involvement, enjoyment, and creativity. As Witten explains, flow theory is a way of understanding the nature of games, which includes the following. 1. A challenge that requires skills to achieve as well as an attainable goal and known rules. 2. Complete absorption in the activity. 3. Clear goals. 4. Immediate feedback. 5. Consideration on the task at hand. 6. A sense of control and lack of worrying about losing control. 7. Lose of self-consciousness. 8. Transformation of time. Witten concludes that the learning engagement factors in gamification, including challenge, control, immersion, interest, and purpose. In gaming, players are not afraid of facing challenges, and they look forward to work on different challenges. When players spending enough time practicing a level, they gain sufficient experience and the ability to work on next level. Games allow players to save their previous progress, and players know that even if they fail in the current challenge, they do not need to restart from the beginning. Games provide a safety net for players to assume risks without harming themselves or others. Players are free to explore the gaming world in their own way, at their own pace. Players compete with themselves, with peers, and with anyone in the world who plays the same game. Satisfaction comes from competition. Methods of gamification, including points, leaderboards, collaboration platforms, and access to innovation team. If educators understand how to apply gamification to a gamified pedagogy, then students may become more engaged and motivated, thus becoming better learners. About the gamified pedagogy. The spiral curriculum is the model that is optimally suited to the gamification as a pedagogical approach because it allows students to learn and practice basic skills to master advanced tasks. Harden and Stamper list features of the spiral curriculum. 1. Topics are revisited. 2. There are increasing level of difficulties. 3. New learning is related to previous learning. And 4. The competence of students increases. Experience and reinforcement are crucial in spiral curriculum. The pattern of increasing difficulties in gaming also follows a spiral pattern. Games allow players to choose their level of difficulty. When players are new to a game, they practice simple tasks. As players' techniques, skills, knowledge, and experience increase, the difficulty of the game increases. Step-by-step, short-term goals in gaming are more motivating than long-term goals. Similar to gaming, as students' level of experience and skills mature, they are able to motivate to advance to more difficult skills and tasks. When players fail in gaming, they restart from the last level they saved. Players know that they only need to test multiple creative methods and practice more to achieve a goal. In education, Students may be afraid that their assignments do not match the teacher's example or what they may fail an exam. Often, students are not permitted to resubmit an assignment or retake an exam. If students have multiple chances, as they do in gaming, to resubmit an assignment or even retake an exam, then they may assume more creative risks and develop a more active and positive attitude toward learning. Player can play at their own pace without waiting for other players and without being rushed to a higher level. There is no deadline and no cutoff date. Players are comfortable repeating a task until they become adept. In education, teachers frequently find it difficult to allow students to learn at their own pace. However, when students must learn at a group pace, those who learn quickly may feel bored, and those who learn more slowly may not be able to follow the instruction when it progresses to the next level. One of the motivation of gaming is competition without embarrassment. When players are new to a game, they can play by themselves. Once they are comfortable, they can choose to compete with other players. Players observe each other's gaming strategies and learn from each other. Players learn what kind of task they excel at and what kind of tasks they do not enjoy. Players learn to sharpen their specialties and understand that they do not need to dominate every skill to have fun and be successful in gaming. In art and design studio courses, students should have their right to choose when to present their works to their peers and which techniques or skills they want to master. Community support is another important element for players. Successful games have community forums, so players are not alone. They discuss their progress, adventures, and difficulties in the forum. Players enable others to become more successful in the game. Gaming has no teacher, but everyone learns from each other. In the educational community, students should have a place to learn from each other as well. Some games also encourage players' creativity by requiring them to apply different techniques and think independently to achieve a task. Player can make machinima, the so-called short movie of games, to exhibit their creativity. Machinima productions also provide players with an environment in which to exhibit their achievements. In art and design education, providing an environment for students to display their work and allowing students to constructively critique each other's work may encourage students to develop creative thinking skills. According to Hans, Gamified Pedagogy in art education, including 7 elements. First, the teacher should use a spiral curriculum. Second, the teacher and students should set clear short-term and long-term goals. Third, the student should have the chance to resubmit their project. Fourth, the student should be able to learn at their own pace. 5, the teacher should provide a safety net for students to practice without embarrassment. 6, the teacher should provide a space for students to establish a learning community. And 7, the teacher should provide a showcase for students to exhibit their own selective works. Gamified pedagogy incorporates gaming theory into the field of education as a teaching tool. By gamifying education, students become more engaged and interested in learning, and learning becomes self-motivated. This research used the case study methods. According to the scholar, case study can be used to accomplish various aims, such as to provide description, test theory, or generate theory. Furthermore, Stake states that case study is the study of the peculiarity and complexity of a single case, coming to understanding the activity within the important circumstances. There are different types of case studies. I use the community study, which is a study of one or more local communities. It describes and analyzes the pattern of and relation to between main aspects of community life. It is commonly descriptive, but may explore specific issues or be used to in the theory testing. In this study, the main research question is, what are the positive and negative of using gamified pedagogy in the introduction to Maya curriculum design? The sub-questions are as follows. Compared with the previous course design, what are the positive and negative of using gamified pedagogy? And two, what are the students' view on the course design? To answer these questions, an open-ended survey was provided to the students, and the instructors were asked to complete an open-ended survey as well as an interview. The researcher used grounded theory, open coding, and to analyze the research data to generate a theory to explain the central in the data. Open coding was used to interpret rather than summarize the data. Data generation. This study used a mixed methods of the concurrent triangulation strategy, employing three methods to confirm, cross-validate, and corroborate findings. I analyzed the survey and the interview data to understand whether the gamified pedagogy was helpful to students learning the software. About the research participants and procedure. These research participants were the students who enrolled in the 3D Maya course at the Shanghai Commercial School, as well as the instructor who taught these courses based on gamified pedagogy course design. The students were all adults, and all participants used pseudonyms. Students and instructors completed online survey questionnaires, and the researcher had the opportunity to interview the instructors after the course ended. For the online student survey, 31 students began the survey, but one student answered only 2 questions. Therefore, the total number of validated participants was 30. About the curriculum design, the Shanghai Commercial School approved the course design, and the course has already been taught more than once and will be taught again. Below, I introduce the course design and focuses on the curriculum pedagogy and assessment of this introduction to Maya course. Curriculum. The curriculum design is styled after project-based curriculum and adds spiral curriculum to achieve the gamified pedagogy. In this design, the course begins with the exploration. With little guidance and the project-based design, students receive ample time to click around and find resources at the beginning of the course. This allows students to gain a self-teaching ability. Once students play with the software, they know the software's capabilities, which enable them to focus appropriately when learning. These project exploration sessions additionally allow the instructor to discover the student's prior knowledge. With each project, students learn more complicated 3D modeling skills with little guidance from the instructor. Basic, simple projects teach students not to be afraid of the software complexity, whereas repeating similar but more sophisticated functions enables students to see the software's potential, as spiral curriculum emphasizes. By the final project, students are comfortable with Maya 3D software and should be able to create objects they prefer. About the pedagogy. Based on the gamified pedagogy, some important features should be observed by the instructors. As previously mentioned, a freedom of creation, which we discussed in this session as well, be showcasing students' work, and see the importance of group work and unconventional assessment are discussed in the following session. Showcasing students' work frequently is important in gamified pedagogy. In gaming theory, showcase is considered to be a reward. Consequently, the instructor should display students' work as often as possible. However, the instructor must also ensure that every student's work is presented to the class throughout the course. When showcasing student work, the instructor should clearly indicate which part of the work are noteworthy so that other students can learn from it. Students are honored by the showcase and work diligently to be noticed again. The instructor should not present students' work and publicly discuss the weak point of the work. Weak point should be discussed privately after the showcase when the instructor offers honest and critical feedback to the student. Hereby, the student know whether they have achieved the required goal and how to improve their work. Additionally, this feedback informs the students that their work has been recognized by the instructor, which allow them to learn from the process. Group work is especially important to design students, and the designers must be able to work with other designers in the industry. Therefore, providing student opportunities for group work is necessary. However, working in groups can also cause many issues. The instructor should spend time with each group and understand each student's work ethics. If the instructor notices a problem within a group, then they should guide the students to a resolution. On another note, peer learning should be promoted in the course design. The instructor should teach the student this phrase, ask three before me. This means the student should attempt to find answers from three sources or people. For example, their peers or the internet, before asking the instructor. This enables students to acquire ability of self and peer teaching. About the assessment. The assessment design in this course is unconventional. Later, I will show the appendix, and then you will be able to see how unconventional it is. Similar to the playing a game, students gain points instead of earning marks. The point of assessment in this course is not to evaluate students' work, but to assist students' learning, which is determined not by exams, but by check-ins after each class. In this course, students submit their work at the end of each class, regardless of whether it is finished, which teaches students to use their class time wisely. Each point students earn confirms whether they acquired the skill taught in class. Students must submit assignment on time. If students participate in class but submit incomplete work, then they receive a preliminary point and are encouraged to resubmit. Additionally, instructor encourage students to work on their project from home and resubmit work after receiving feedback. The course design also allowed instructor to grant extra point on each assignment to encourage students to improve their work. This reassures the student if they are unable to complete an assignment. Using formative assessment in which submissions equal points reduce students' stress on exams to determine their learning outcome. Using the point system provides students with a feeling of gaming. When students submit assignments, they earn points. In this aspect, the process is more important than the result. Furthermore, instructors can see students' learning process, and students are unable to use free 3D objects found online to pass this course because they must upload work after each class. Using project-based gamified pedagogy encourages students to work diligently as each project increases their knowledge for the next project. All learning processes are relevant and important for the next stage. Most importantly, the project design is based on students' preferences and their group decision. Students decide their own style and use their own imaginations. All students' projects are preparation for the final project. Ultimately, the project they create can be included in their design portfolio. Data generation. This study used the mixed methods of the concurrent triangulation strategy, employing the three methods to confirm, cross-validate, and corroborate findings. I analyzed the survey and interview data to understand whether the gamified pedagogy was helpful to students learning the software. About the findings. The instructor implements the gamified pedagogy in two courses. One was the 3D modeling course, and the other was the 3D animation course. Overall, the gamified pedagogy was valued by the instructors and students. The instructors noted that the quality and detail of students' work was considerably higher than before, as the instructor states. In the past, some students were finding models online and submitted as their assignment. However, now the assessment is about the process. The student won't just submit a found model. In the student survey, when students were asked whether they liked this course, 25 students chose yes, and 4 students did not respond to the question, and 2 indicate that they were not interested in this course. Therefore, the majority of the students were interested in this course. When asked whether they would like to have more course designed in this way, 22 students answered yes, and 3 answered no, and 5 did not answer. This is evident that gamified pedagogy curriculum design is preferred by both instructor and students. The feedback from the instructor and students can be categorized into 4 sessions. A. Freedom of creation. B. Importance of showcasing student work. C. Working in groups. And D. Assessment by unconventional means. Below, we discuss the feedback in detail. Findings. Freedom of creation. Teacher no longer teaches students step-by-step instruction, so students have freedom to create the object they prefer. As Parker states, freedom and democracy by upholding the meaningfulness and importance of art in the classroom. According to the instructors, the differences in this course design is that the students' learning interests increased because of the student-centered curriculum design. The instructor stated, in the past, students learned what the teacher taught. However, in gamified pedagogy, all these 3D models are students' own creation. It's what they are interested in. Therefore, they are interested in this course. They do what they like, and I teach and help them when they need it. In the open-ended survey, an instructor also mentioned that because students can make what they want and have freedom of creation, they are willing to spend time after class to complete the assignment. Similarly, when students were asked how this course differed from other software learning courses, one wrote that the instructor didn't ask us to follow step-by-step instruction. Instead, we can use our own imagination to make things. Another student remarked it. This course provides more freedom. I can learn and express my ideas. When asked what they like the most in this course, one student replied, I can do what I like to do, and everyone's work is different. Another student stated, we learn from each other. These results demonstrate that the student can learn high-end software without following step-by-step instructions. Providing students space and freedom to create the work that interests them motivates learning, which is more important than teaching the function. About the importance of showcasing student work. According to the instructors, the showcase was a key point that advanced in learning. According to scholars, a showcase is considered to be a reward. When students saw other students' creative works, they were motivated to compete quality work as well. Students reviewed their own work and worked more diligently to earn the opportunity to be showcased. The instructor mentioned that they had employed the student-centered education prior to implementing gamified pedagogy. However, they focus on the students' deficiencies and attempt to overcome these issues. Conversely, instructors who use gamified pedagogy allow students to determine what they desire to create, and they encourage students to improve their efforts. This fundamental difference changed how the teacher think about education. In the open-ended student survey, when asked what they learned when the instructor showcased the students' work, one student replied, "I was inspired and had more ideas." Another student states, "I looked for the pros and cons in my peers and my own works, and I found it's very helpful for me to improve my works." A third student commented, "I learned from other people's experience to improve my own work. The teacher's comments were very helpful for me as well." This finding suggests that constant review and feedback is essential in students' learning process. Findings: group works. Group work was problematic for the instructors as they were unsure how to group students. As scholars state, the students must learn at a group pace. When students cannot choose their own group, they might not feel as happy or beneficial to their personal learning. Then the instructors found that some personality issues required them to spend considerable time acclimating the students to group work. Instead of allowing students to find their own groups, the instructors attempt to place those with technical skills into each group in the hope that they could assist other students. However, the instructor later realized that this may not be beneficial, as technically skilled students worked more than others. Although the instructor has issues with group works, students seem to feel differently. According to the survey, 23 students like to work in groups. 2 students did not like to work in groups, and 5 students did not answer the question. According to one student, when learning with peers, I can complete tasks faster. Another student remarked, "The knowledge I have learned was strengthened." Additionally, a student mentioned that we can discuss how to use different methods to achieve the same result, whereas other students revealed that they learned to respect different ways of thinking, and that in group they can complete the task that I cannot do by myself. Therefore, when students were asked if they believe that this course allowed them to learn to collaborate with others, 25 students reported yes, 1 student reported no, and 4 students did not answer the question. It may be difficult for instructor to assign students to groups. However, from students' perspectives, it is important to encourage group work. During the interview with instructors, the curriculum designer suggests that they allow students to choose their own groups. When students work with their friends, they are more motivated and they may encourage each other to complete higher level work. And finally, about the assessment. The instructor mentioned that the unconventional assessment methods changed how the student thought about learning. As the assessment did not focus on the final product, students began to review their learning and care about their learning process. Finally, students recognized the importance of the learning process. The instructor noted that the students' learning autonomy significantly increased because of the assessment, which instructor considered to be important for students. One instructor stated that 70% of the students spend time outside of the class to complete the assignments. Both instructors were happy with the gamified pedagogy and hoped that all vocational education schools in the province will implement gamified pedagogy. When the students were asked whether they liked the assessment methods, 23 students answered yes, 3 students did not reply, and 4 students chose no. This demonstrates that although this is a new assessment model, the majority of the students prefer it. When students were asked how much extra time they spent practicing Maya, 20 students answered the question. Answers range from 1 hour a day to I work until I'm happy with my work, which reveals because of the assignment is designed to encourage students to achieve their own goals. They were willing to spend additional time and effort working on their projects. Issues raised by the instructors. Because gamified pedagogy is a different way of teaching, the instructor also reported some questions and difficulties. According to both instructors, because students were accustomed to following step-by-step instructions and now were provided freedom, they were lost at the beginning of the course and did not know what to do. The student needed time to determine how to learn in this course. And both instructors also stated that more time is required to teach this course. One instructor attributes this to learning how to teach gamified pedagogy, and another instructor stated that because each student's work is different, more time was spent finding the works to showcase. However, the instructors also noted that they were able to observe students' proficiency and weakness. Although gamified pedagogy curriculum design required more time for instructor to prepare, both instructors stated that they were motivated to teach the course because students were also highly motivated. Ultimately, the instructors were happy and willing to spend time to prepare for the course to benefit their students. Gamified pedagogy curriculum design requires more than merely using leaderboards and badges to motivate students. It demands careful, deliberate calculations. Instructors need to addition time to fully implement gamified pedagogy curriculum design and prepare for each class. However, in this study, instructors were motivated by the students who were also motivated by and engaged in the course. The design of gamified pedagogy curriculum, including 4 features: freedom of creation, showcase of students' work, importance of group work, assessment by unconventional means. With a gamified pedagogy, students may become self-motivated learners who are interested in learning more from the course content and from each other. Gamified pedagogy provides another approach for art education. Before I finish, I just want to share this one slide. Later, I will also put the article and the appendix in the conference site, so website, so you can access it. You can see the full article and the full assessment board. So when the students, they are you can see that when the student submit a work, if it is completed, and then they will earn 100 points. If they only submit it and that is incomplete, they will earn 20 points. This is also like checking. The instructor will be able to see if the student attend the class. So this is like attendance for students. But I also have a thing called the 105 points if a submission is amazing. So in this way, it's a big push for the students to make them work harder, to make the work better. So this is something that I think is very interesting in the gamified pedagogy, and the students, they really like it. And as you can see, the total mark here is not just 100, but 6,600 and 6,700. if the student work hard enough. So if you have any questions, comments, and thoughts, please feel free to contact me at sandrinehan.com. And this is my website. If you would like to try the gamified pedagogy but don't know where to start, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help you to start the gamified pedagogy. I can share a lot of resources with you. And if your school would like to know how to use the gamified pedagogy, also, please feel free to let me know. I am more than happy to share or be employed by your school to write the gamified pedagogy for your school. Thank you. If you have any questions and comments and thoughts, please feel free to share with me. I'm more than happy to hear from you. Thank you.